then there was this. An armed carjacking caught on camera in broad daylight. Two women minding their own business, terrified, running for their lives. The bad guy, unable to make a getaway in that car, pointing his gun at another driver. Tonight, an urgent search for that brazen bandit.
Yeah, that crime happened outside a business on DIP. It was actually the second armed carjacking in the port city in less than 24 hours. That's on top of all the weekend shootings. Take a look. What was likely a routine run to the convenience store took a wild turn Saturday afternoon for these two young women. It happened outside DIP's Southern Bama Bait and Tackle. No sooner than getting back into their car, the suspect waiting approaches, armed with a gun, opens the driver's door, putting the gun in the driver's face. Both women jumping out and running inside the store, where clerks locked the doors and called police. But here's where it gets crazy. The suspect puts the car in drive while trying to close the passenger door, only to go way forward over the concrete parking block, getting the car stuck. He'd exit with gun in hand, desperately running across the parking lot towards another vehicle that speeds off. You see the suspect runs off in the opposite direction. And like we said, it was a busy weekend for Mobile police. Another carjacking Friday night in the area of Mobile Street and Oakley Drive. According to MPD, the victim had pulled over to adjust something in the bed of his truck when he was approached by an armed suspect who took the truck and drove off. This weekend also saw its share of gunfire. The first on Friday. 45-year-old Kimberly Sellers booked into Metro after police say she fired multiple shots at a couple getting into their vehicle. No one was injured. Sellers remains jailed facing 2 gun charges. And no arrests in a shooting Saturday night in the 1600 block of Hurdle Street, but police believe they know who the shooter is. Investigators say a known person fired shot at the victim's vehicle as he was driving away in the 1100 block of Gorgas Street. The victim, sent to the hospital, is expected to be okay. And a domestic dispute early Sunday morning in the 1100 block of Houston Street sends a victim to the hospital. Investigators say the ex-boyfriend pulled the trigger. Within that same hour, officers responding to 2 people shot. The victims telling officers they were shot leaving Sideways Sports Bar and Grill around 2:40 a.m. The shots appearing to come from across the street, both left with non-life-threatening injuries. And last night around 9 o'clock, a person shows up to the hospital with gunshot wounds. Police believe the shooting happening at Mill Run Apartments. Meanwhile, back to this video, another reminder to be aware of your surroundings and proof crime can happen anywhere at any time. And if you recognize the suspect in the video or have any information that can help investigators in any of these cases, you're urged to call Mobile Police. They say callers can remain anonymous.